Now, I haven't watched a lot of classic kids movies growing up. I grew up watching a bunch of 3D animated movies that came out around the time, family movies, and superhero movies. But I never really watched the classics that have been remade. The Lion King, The Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin, all those movies that went crazy before the pandemic, I never watched them. I did watch Snow White though, but I don't know why, that movie specifically. But I remember watching it, and I apparently watched The Lion King, but I have zero memory of watching it. It might have been when I was stuck in a cancer room, but I don't remember much from my chemo days. But I did watch The Lion King and Aladdin when Disney Plus came out, and I thought they were good movies. I didn't watch the remakes though, cause I thought I'd just wait for them to come out on Disney Plus. But when the movie came out in theaters, everyone hated it, so I'm like, damn, I'll watch it later. And then I never ended up watching it. But I did watch the live action Cinderella movie and The Jungle Book in theaters, and those movies were actually sick. But everyone hated all the other movies, and they all get mixed reviews. Sometimes critics love the movie while the audience hates it, and then other times critics think it's dog excrement while the audience thinks it's Morbius 2. Now, I know Rotten Tomatoes isn't an accurate metric, but it shows us whether the majority of critics or audience enjoy the movie or not. And for these Disney remakes, the audience and critics are Moon Knight. Now the question is, what should Disney do? Well, the solution to that is to make their future remakes rated R. Instead of making the same movie again that people are going to be divisive on, they should take a gamble and make a darker and more realistic interpretation of these stories. Like, they can still remake Hamlet for the 38th time, but make it more realistic or darker. This is why everyone hated the Lion King remake. Look at the scene where Scar kills Mufasa. Everyone was laughing at how horrible this scene was and how insulting it was, because Mufasa has no blood or dismembered limbs or anything after he falls and gets trampled. Everyone thought the movie was a joke when they made no attempt for realism. Like, this man doesn't even have a single scratch, bruise, nothing. Do you really expect anyone to believe this? Like, there's a reason why masterpieces like Morbius are peak cinema and earned over $1 trillion. Morbius has blood and gore. The Lion King doesn't. Morbius is cinema, which means blood and gore is cinema, which means The Lion King isn't. But not only does Morbius have blood and gore, but it also has a bunch of powerful and memorable lines. There are so many quotable lines from the film, such as I am Morbius, I am Venom, and how can anyone forget? It's Morbin time. These lines truly signify how the quality of writing in this film is unlike anything else. But now when you compare these lines to the lines in The Lion King, you see how abominable the movie truly is. Now the acting was stellar, I think. I don't know, I didn't watch the movie. But where are the good lines? Like, why not have this in the movie instead of the meaningless and forgettable lines we got? If these lines were in the movie, everyone would have taken the movie much more seriously, instead of goofy ass lines like, no! Like, you can tell by the script that they weren't taking these movies seriously. They legit could have had a 4-year-old write a better script than... Actually, my grade 3 standardized test is better than this caca. The Lion King is truly a cinematic failure, and no one has learned a lesson from this movie. Lady and the Tramp? Poo. Mulan? Poo. And it's been poo before The Lion King. Why? Because the Aladdin remake was also poo. No, I can talk about Will Smith, the genie man, I forgot the character's name, looking hella goofy, but let's look at the real issue with this entire movie. It's boring. Why? I don't know. I don't remember the movie properly. But do you know what movie I do remember? Superbad. And I watched that movie before I watched Aladdin. That movie was so funny and it was memorable. I watched Aladdin like 2 or 3 years ago, and I just remember Aladdin has a monkey, he like Jasmine who has a tiger, flies on a carpet, and finds a blue genie man. And since it's another predictable ass Disney movie for kids, Aladdin is with Jasmine, everyone is alive, and everyone lives happily ever after. Instead of making the same exact movie for the live action remake, imagine how good it would have been if they took a different route. What they should have done was make Aladdin a horny mofo. Why? Cause Seth from Superbad was a horny mofo. And that movie is the best comedy movie ever made. No debate. But imagine if Aladdin liked Jasmine and his monkey liked Jasmine's tiger and wanted to get to know it. Make it a comedy so that it's funny and have it being a coming of age story like Superbad. And Will Smith could be Fogel's character and get them alcohol to impress Jasmine and the tiger. But on top of alcohol, they take it to the next level and try meth and heroin. Now this movie sounds interesting. But Aladdin can sneak into a party at Jasmine's and bring the drugs with his monkey and share them with Jasmine and Monkey. The tiger would be the one person that's against it and would advise Jasmine and the monkey to not consume it, but Aladdin would convince them otherwise. And after a long night of consuming these drugs, they'll fall asleep. Except for the tiger. The tiger goes out for a walk, and as it comes back, it hears choking in the distance. The choking gets louder and louder, and as the tiger gets close to Jasmine's room, it finds Jasmine choking on her own vomit next to a knocked out Aladdin and Monkey. But by the time the tiger got to her, it's too late. Jasmine died. The next morning when Aladdin wakes up, he sees Jasmine's corpse and his best friend Monkey crippled. And after crying for a good 5 minutes, he goes back to the genie and asks him to revert everything he's done. But the genie said he can't do that. What he can do is have him get away from the country and flee to the States where he can get a new life. So he accepts this deal, leaving his friend Monkey behind. And once he arrives in America on the flying carpet, he starts a new life under the name Gustavo Fring. The end. Now I know after hearing this new interpretation of Aladdin, you guys want me to direct the new Disney remakes. Now, I get it. I hear it all the time. I am a world-class film director and writer. I understand that. But I just don't think I'd be able to cast Jared Leto as every single character for my films. It would require a hefty budget considering the demand for him as an actor increased dramatically after the success of Morbius, so I'm probably gonna need around $1 million per second he is in the film. And I just can't afford that. But if you do subscribe to the channel and join the 4% of people that are currently subscribed, then my chances of hiring Jared Leto would increase. If 100% of the people watching this video subscribe, then this movie will definitely happen. But in the meantime, we'll have to wait. On the bright side though, there is a horror Winnie the Pooh movie called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and I am looking forward to this film. It's gonna be a movie. I'm excited to see what they do with this interpretation, and it will definitely be amazing. It's gonna serve justice to my childhood after it was ruined by this pathetic attempt of a zombies map in Black Ops 4. So I hope this movie becomes a film of all time. I unfortunately saw one spoiler, so it is kinda ruined for me, unless that's part of the lore that we need to understand, but from what I've heard, it sounds like that they're headed in the right direction. Now, I don't think this movie would be on the same level as something like Morbius, but I do expect it to be a movie. Hopefully it starts a chain reaction and causes other children movies to be rated R, like Shrek, Up, Madagascar, and the other classics we all loved watching as a kid. That way, we can enjoy quality cinema along with the new generations to come. But that's it for this video. Later.
Reading.
Nothing really, just,
Reading.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on!